YouTube? Angel X Mikey here, and I'm back with tutorial number 3 of Flash the Toonboom for Dumb-Dums. Alright, so today we're going to be going over drawing in Toonboom compared to Flash, coloring, adjusting smoothing, and even doing a little bit of shading. Alright? So we're going to start in Flash, so we're going to get all familiar with how things work in Flash first. So we're going to go with the brush tool. Now, we're going to draw in Flash, and we are going to draw a person. Now, excuse the crappiness of these drawings in Flash. I am using tablet I don't usually use. So we got our drawing. I'm just gonna move this to. So with this, there's a couple things I want to note. As you can see, right here, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Right here, right here, right here, right here. The line art tends to blob out a bit. It doesn't stay uniform like it is right around here, or right here, or even right here. It tends to blob out a little bit, and you can actually adjust that a little bit, but we'll go into that in a second. And that is the smoothing in Flash. Right now, I have my smoothing set to 40, and that's generally the generic smoothing most animators set it to while working in Flash. That is what corrects your lines and tries to keep them uniform and looking like on perfection, especially when you're doing line art. In Flash, you could actually fix this problem by doing manual smoothing, and there's a couple ways to do that. And one way to do that is to go to your selection tool and move one side of it around so it's more even. And you have to play around with it. And then the other way can be paired with editing it like that, and that's highlighting certain spots that aren't doing what you wanted to do. Go to modify, shape, and then smooth. And what that does is it smooths out your lines. So if I select this, go modify, shape, smooth, it moves slightly. If you do it again, it'll smooth it even more. And that you can get better lines and everything in Flash. Also, another thing with Flash, you have your brush sizes right over here. You should know that. You know, these are the only brush sizes you have. They change depending on how much you're zoomed in. So say I drew that line at 400%. If we go 200% and I use it again, it's going to be twice as big. Now, and that's about it to doing it in Flash. Now we're going to move over to Toonboom, and I'm going to show you why doing it in Toonboom is like 10 times better. And first of all, we're going to go to Toonboom. Remember, we don't have to select anything in the timeline, although it is. So we're just going to draw a character. And you can see Toonboom adjusting my lines. But it does not do the blobbiness that that Flash does. Alright, so we have our character. Nice little simple design. Kind of looks like Vegeta, but okay. So we got our little character, and what we're going to do next is I want to show you a few things. Obviously, this drawing isn't blobby like the drawing in Flash. This one, a lot smoother, the lines look a lot cleaner, and that's what Toonboom does. It's great. Now, I'm going to go, and I'm going to show you something. So over here we have our tool properties, and this is all the stuff that you have for your brush. We got the draw behind option, everything, which is also in Flash, and then we have our brush sizes. We have a bunch of different brush sizes, and they're all customizable. These are all pretty much made by me, except for some of them are default. But you can delete the default ones and put in new ones. It really don't matter. There's even textures ones that you can create texture brushes and everything. And the thing about these is you can literally go any size. And if you remember, I was explaining in Flash, it only has the select few. This one you can customize your own, and it can have a texture and everything. And the best thing, it saves it. It will save your brushes, so whenever you open a new project, your brushes that you created for the old project will be there too. And then of course you can delete them as well. So let's create a custom brush. So I want mine to be a medium brush, so we're gonna go with 6, and we're gonna press this little plus pencil tool here, and it creates a new one. Creates it as 10, and you can rename it by pressing this A button. Just name it Toothbrush 3. And here you go. And then here are all your options. Let's draw with it. Alright. So we got a nice little brush here. It's skinnier than the one I used for our little character. Now, what if I want it smaller? Well, here you go. You can adjust this right here, and it'll make your brush smaller. This one actually makes the thickness of your brush bigger, the tips. So you can have a little bit more of acrylic fill, like if you're doing hair and you want that sharpness to it. And what that pretty much is, it's your pressure adjustment, how much pressure you want. See, but if you want to keep your strokes uniform, you keep those even. Yeah. See, and they're all nice. Okay, right here, this is your smoothing. So this will actually keep your lines on both sides even as possible, depending on how much you have set. You can see it adjust it a little bit and make those curves a little bit smoother. Now, if you adjust this one, you see, adjust it a little bit more. Well, let's see if this one's on 10, this one's 0. So we're going to draw a line, and as you can see, it adjusts a lot, right? It's really doing that smoothing. And what it is it's doing is it's adjusting the curvature of your line. So again, if you're working with hair or something really curvy, you would put more emphasis on the top one rather than the bottom one. Now, if we put this one all the way to 0, and we put this one at 10, this one just keeps those lines on both sides even all the way through the stroke, which that means it'll stay the same width. You won't get any of that pen pressure or anything unless you like really want it. But depending on how long the stroke is, it'll keep the distance between one side and the other consistent. And that's your smoothing. And depending on what part of the animation you're working on, you might want to adjust that one way or the other. Generally, I have it probably about like right here. I usually try to keep them even. Nice smooth lines in Toonboom, I'll tell you that. We could create another one just real quick, and we're going to rename this one Toothbrush 4. And we could try with the bigger thing. Very uniform lines. You can adjust it more so it fixes it more. Really nice lines in Toonboom. You can add textures just like you can in Flash, except these won't disappear. They'll stay in unless you delete them, and you can adjust them down here. I won't go into that because I've tried it out and it's really not complicated. And of course, if you want to delete a brush, pencil minus. Alright, so we got drawing down. I'm going to delete these two. And we're going to go back. We're going to go back to Flash. Alright. So here we are back at Flash. And we are going to go over color now. Now, in Flash, we have, I went over this on the interfaces, but I'll go over it again. We have our color wheel over here, where we can adjust our color. We got swatches over here, and this is all of our color stuff. Over here, we have color picker, line color picker, and all that kind of good stuff. Paint bucket to fill in our stuff and whatnot. In Flash, we generally, when we're shading, maybe some of y'all don't use this technique, but I know a lot that do. We'll take the pencil tool and we'll start drawing this stuff right here, for shading. And there's a reason to do this, and again, most of y'all will know. But I want to show an example because we're gonna have to do the. I'm gonna show you how to do it in Toonboom, and we're going to change his color. Okay, and that's the color of his skin, and we want some shade, so we're gonna fill it in with a different color. All right, let's go a little bit darker. Okay. And then we're going to color in the hair. Let's go yellow. Make him a little Super Saiyan. Yay! And now we got color. Well, now we don't want those pesky green lines. So what we would normally do is click on the frame to select all of it. Press that little white box with the red cross, and then it'll get rid of all your lines, and then you have a little nice shading job. Now back to Toonboom. This we do a little bit different, and a lot of people are confused by this. I certainly was before I figured it out, but let's go over some things in Toonboom. So we were talking about the color wheel and palette on Flash, and that's where this is gonna be. I know it looks a lot different. I actually went over it just a tiny bit, and I think the first tutorial. But what we're gonna do is we are going to color our little guy right here, just like the one over there. And the way we do that, we have our basic colors. These are the default colors. These are the colors you always have. And if you want to add a new one, plus sign. And if you want to change the color, you're going to double click it. And it'll bring up this. Just like in Flash, you have the color picker box with all the different blended colors. Well, this is just blue and green. Where are the rest? Well, you're going to click on the multi-wheel mode, and you have all your boxes. You have red, green, blue for your RGB. You got hue, you got saturation, you got value. And all of these are going to be, they are in Flash too. Let's go into Flash, and we have the bar right here, and we have our hue, saturation, and value right here. And then we also have red, green, blue color palette, and their respective numbers. Back in Flash, we have all that here. We have the alpha, just like in Flash, right here as well. We got gradients. We won't go, well, I mean, we will go over that here in a little bit. But we're gonna choose his skin color. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play with these a little bit. Okay. We'll move that one. Okay. And we'll go with that. And then we're gonna make his shade. And so we're just gonna have this this selected, and we're gonna duplicate the color, and we're gonna double click, and then I'm just gonna with this. Okay. And exit. And now I got these two colors. Now, you're probably wondering, where does it tell me what color I'm selected? It doesn't tell you like in Flash, but you have these right here. And this is your brush color, your pencil color, or your line color, and your dump tool color. Yes, you can have separate ones selected all at once and just switch between your tools, like so. So we're gonna put the line tool as green because that's what I use for shading, to outline the shading, and the fill bucket tool we're going to also have as the skin color. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually start with the pencil tool. So we're gonna go and select the pencil tool. You have all the options, just or we have fewer options than with the brush, but you can customize that as well. But we're just going to color or put that in, and then we're going to go to the bucket tool without even having to touch the color palette, and we're gonna fill in the color. Cool, right? Well, we're gonna go back to our pencil tool, and we're going to add the shade lines. So we got our shade lines, alright. And we're going to create a couple new colors. Okay. Alright. So we got a couple new colors, and we're going to start filling in our shades, alright? Our highlights and our shades. Now, with Toonboom, or with a Flash, you also run into, you run into the color bleeds through, or you didn't close a gap enough, and you have to use the close gap option. And that is also right here. You just go to tool properties, and then you can close small gaps, close medium gaps, close large gaps. Okay? And then we're going to finish coloring them in. Okay, so we got our character here, and now we want to get rid of the lines. The thing is with Toonboom, you can't just delete the lines. You can't select everything and delete the lines. But what I've found out how to do, which, yes, this is my idea. I don't know if anybody else is doing it, but this is how I did it. Is oh, hold up. Okay, I didn't fill in his skin. But what I've learned how to do is you go to the color, you double click, and then you alpha it out completely. And now you have your shades just like in Flash. The thing is, though, in Toonboom, all these colors are their own color. And if you use them repeatedly throughout an animation, you can change this color, and it will change throughout the whole animation. For example, let's go to the skin tool. I want it more pink. I want it more red. I can adjust it like that. And it'll change that color throughout the whole animation. So if you want a repeat color that kind of looks the same but it's a little different, make sure you make a copy of it and then change it, or you're going to have a bad time. So now we're going to go into importing colors. So let's go back to Flash. Now Flash has so in Flash you can import by just going and copying and pasting an image into Flash and taking the colors from there. So, for example, I get this picture of a frog, and I'm gonna paste in the center. And now the image is in Flash, and I can take colors from it and color with them using the eyedrop tool. Unfortunately, back to Toonboom, you cannot just import an image from the internet. You have to manually do it. So what you're gonna have to do is, actually you're gonna have to go to File, Import Images. You can create a new layer, or you can put it on the existing layer. Let's just create a new one, and we're gonna go to Browse. Let's grab my icon. Let's see, right here. Okay. And now we have my icon there, and I can select it and I can move it. So now it has its own layer, and I import it. Now, what if I just want to steal the colors off of it? Well, what you're gonna do is you're gonna create a new color. You're gonna double click it, and then you're gonna click this eyedropper tool, the one inside here. Oops. And you're gonna click, and then you can scroll over and steal the colors that way. And then just repeat and go down the line, and just make sure you use the eyedropper tool, and then you can get those colors. It's a little bit more, I will admit, it is a little bit more of a pain in the ass than Flash. That's one of the things that is a little bit of a pet peeve, switching over. And last but not least, there's one thing that Flash cannot do, and that's importing a palette. In Flash, it's really hard to save your your color that you use a bunch, and it's never right there. You always have to use your eyedropper tool. Luckily, that's one good thing about Toonboom. You always have all your colors right here. But what if I want this same palette in another animation? Toonboom saves all these colors as a palette for each project. So let's say I want to import another palette, or create a new palette. You can create a new palette by pressing this. Just, let's say Saiyan, because he looks like a Saiyan. And then we can create our own new palette right here for this character. Now, what if I want to import a palette that I have in another cartoon? Well, you're going to go in this white space, right click, import, and then you can go through your other Toonboom projects and go through their palettes. So let's go with Super Frosty. I mean, I got a palette library right here. Let's import Frieza's. Yes. So now I have all of Frieza's color here from an animation that I did several months ago. And now I can apply these colors over to this animation. And I think that's about it for this tutorial, for tutorial 3. I hope y'all learned something. Don't forget to check out my animations. They're all right there within the clouds. Don't forget to go check out my Patreon. I could really use the support. I want to keep doing this. Also, you can check out my commission page. I do have a commission page, and that will be linked in the description. And I hope y'all enjoy learning, and hope y'all are looking forward to the next tutorial. Okay, bye!